Welcome. Today again I have my amazing YouTube superstar Andrea and friends, and today our topic is about stepping out of the world and take a break to open your heart, because the heart is so important to go into and find out. So today we're going to speak from our heart about our different things we see in life. So look at this amazing show, because it's like going to the best Michelin restaurant in the world. And today gonna be a lot of spicy things in this small flowers and all that. And today I have bring my divine things on my head. So thank you for again to being in the show, and thank you for the one who listened. We are so deep grateful, and we're sharing so much knowledge so you can grow from your heart, because we all are a heart person, and we mean it's so important to be in heart. Thank you, guys. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So I want to share something from my heart about like stepping out of the world and take a break. And I was doing that in the weekend. I was taking 3 days out of my working life. And I think we all should do that and give myself a gift to receive and learn and just be in the moment and see what happened in my soul. And I was learning something about the Kundalini, because my back was, when I get touched, was moving. And then I was like, is it was because I want to cry like hell? And then suddenly I let go and I was crying, and I released so much grief and happiness. And it was so beautiful. And I see like a movie about a lot of things, and I see how many people are, you all know I'm talking about sensuvitality. So I was seeing how many people who are locked into a prison in the sexuality. So that was really powerful. And then I also see how the body, you could see how it was abandoned or shame or punished down or so. So it was really, but the most powerful things I also discovered there, it was, I was doing a massage on someone, and I could not feel any energy. And I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. But then was this, no, I don't want to do it. And then I was calling the teacher, and I said to her, can I say no, because it's actually not my work? And she said, of course, this seminar are about saying no. And so I was saying no, and it was so powerful for me for saying no, really, like when I don't feeling was right. So it was a big lesson, and beautiful lesson. And she after say the beautiful way I also could hold the space to hold his hand and telling him in a nice way. And there was some other one stepping in, and I could go out of it. And she said she got very emotion from it also. So it was really like I let my heart open, and I learned so much about saying no and seeing so much. So that was something from the heart where I was really stepping out. So I want to share that too. And it's very important to learn to find out, is we saying yeah, and where we want to say no, or are we saying yeah to life? And I also learned, I say yes to myself now. I say yes to my work now. I know I have to go out to the world, because I have so much to learn the world. And so it was a really great gift to give myself and take so many days out and receive and just give and give and give. So that was one of my things to people. So that was really beautiful. I want to share that to everyone in the world when we're stepping out of the world and going in and take a break.
And if I may add something to that, thank you for that beautiful teaching story. And what I'm hearing is that it's really about stepping into your heart and dropping from your mind to your heart. And there's this fine line that we can feel if we're tuned into ourselves between am I being egoistic and I'm just saying no to everybody or everything, or just to you know, to rebel or for whatever reason from the mind, or from a survival instinct, or is it something deeper where we feel, okay, this is something that doesn't feel right. I cannot explain it from my head, but something, it could either be a gut feeling, or like the heart can be called to something, but it can also be not called to something. And and it's really about discerning between that. What is for me and what is right and what is wrong. And that is I would say, when you take a break and you step out of the world, and you can connect to yourself, this is the potential, the possibility to actually say, okay, now let me see what do I really want. And then, of course, first 100 thoughts are coming up. I want this, I want that, I want fame, I want money, I want to travel, I want a wife, I want kids, whatever, you know, like tons of things can come up. But if you just let all of this pass by and then let it sink in and come down to something deeper here and see, okay, maybe it's just I want to be in touch with something deeper, something that feels real and trustworthy. And that could be a connection with somebody else, but at the same time, it can be a connection to ourself, and to really drop into that feeling. And that's something that I've experienced myself in the last couple of weeks. For example, just spending a lot of time with myself, meditating, sitting in stillness, and just tuning in with myself and seeing, okay, what's actually really here, like right now, what can I do to give myself love. And that is the big difference between egoism and self-love. Because sometimes, for example, Buddhists are always called out for being egoistic, but egoistic means if you take and somebody else loses, somebody else is kind of victim or loses from that. That's egoism. But if it's, and it comes usually from the mind, from I don't have enough, I'm not enough, like always this feeling of not enough. And when you come really and you're able to drop down to your heart and you feel that abundance in the essence, and you feel that, then suddenly there's everything's good as it is, everything's fine as it is, no matter what it is. And everybody goes through a different experience. You know, some people, they have it very seemingly very easy. They have lots of money, a big house, car, kids, beautiful wife, something. But it's not about that. It's about your own personal journey. Because it doesn't make sense to compare yourself to others, because you go through your journey, I go through my journey. So my job is to take care of myself, and that includes that body, that mind, and something deeper, an essence or love or energy that is doesn't really have words. So that's my take.
Yeah, beautiful, so beautiful. So beautiful. I love it. Like, because it's like, because we are growing up with, we should look up all the others. And I also have discovered, like, I also discovering that, yeah, I was also discovering, like, we all are like them again. The rich are there and the few are there. It's like we all have, like, we are against someone. I was looking at myself like, I am the holistic and the doctor is there. And I don't want them and they don't want us. And then I say, why we competition it together with each other, or what you call it, like, why we don't meeting on the middle and find out what can we create together. So I writing to this doctor because I was like, hey, you have a knowledge, I have a knowledge, and the psychology have a knowledge. Why can we not meet in in the bubble and creating something unique for the world? Like, and as you say, it's very important to step out of the world and take a break, because to, like, being in the heart, like France say, doing self-love, hypnosis, meditation, it's very important to give ourselves, because we receive so much more when we just are stepping out.
And one important thing that I want to add is that, you know, for me, meditation is great, going to the gym is great, making music is great. Like those are, for example, those are things where I can draw energy from. But everybody has their own energy places. So for you, it could be swimming. For you, it could be going to the forest or doing a handstand. I don't know. And
With
this,
your friend or have fun and
yeah,
go to
I mean,
ice water or sauna or whatever.
yeah,
Exactly.
sauna also can be good. I recommend it to do it alone, because when you're do it alone, then you can connect to yourself. I mean, of course, if you go to sauna alone, you don't have to talk to anybody, so that works as well. But it's really, you know, everybody has to find their own access to really come to
Mm,
peace and come in
mm,
connection with themselves and to feel themselves, not just the body, not just the mind, but really something deeper, the energy, the life force. So, yeah.
mm. Exactly. It's not about it's what you like to do when you're stepping out of the world and going to your own space where you can connect with your soul and your heart. But it's very important to come back to who are, I see that on your video today. Who am I? And that I see, like we can talk like that is what all the planet is right now about, and that is what it's going to, because we are in the Aquarius time and we're going from some different things, and now we're going in Neptune also in a lot of years, and so it's about now. It's time to coming back to who am I, because we are one different person, everyone. Like it's we think we have to be like David Beckham, or we think we have to be like Madonna, but they are just as soul as we are. But many people think we have to be like this one, or like people have been so much against me because have sold my things and driving my car. And why are you putting yourself in that place? And I think that it's my choice. I love it, and I don't say because you live in a big house telling you why you're living in this big house. It's your choice. People also don't want to drive with me in my car because it's standing central on it, and I'm like, it's you who creating a story. I know the story about my job. So coming back to know who am I? I like that when I see friends.
Yeah, I think that's also the way out of shame,
Mm.
because shame is this constant feeling of being wrong as you
Yeah.
are. And what I'm hearing you say, Eabeauti, is the exact opposite of that, is saying that I am who I am, and that is right in itself. And also maybe also doesn't need any explanation.
Mm. Exactly,
That's
and also all the other people also struggling with something. It's because you're seeing the in glimpse of something, but you are not in the home. You are not with them 24 hours, so you don't know. You just see a glimpse of them, and in the glimpse, maybe shining. But we also do that when we are here. We also shining. We're not coming up while our hair is sitting. We not have to take a shower. It's like, but we can be that behind the scene. So I was doing one talk show because my friend, she was we take one day and she said, why are you not taking, I love to wearing my wardrobe, you're calling, I think. And I think we also do a talk show with that. So she said, why you don't wear it in the shops or something when you like it so much? And I try, and it was really fun. Because who have told which dress should we wearing? Because it's a beautiful and it's warm like a jacket. So, and And then I was in the evening. I should have someone was making a talk show with me, and she said, "Why are you not wearing that? It's beautiful." And I was like, "Yeah, why not? Why? Who have to be that way?" So that is also about stepping out of the world and say, "Should it actually be this way?" And that's what I like with this Kabbalah all the time. Like also about limited belief. I stopping all the time of where is this belief coming from? and look at it's a healthy belief or it's an unhealthy belief. You discover a lot of things, but maybe this not need to be that way. Like I say with this with Doctor and Ulysses, I was like, why are we fighting against each other? Like,
yeah,
we all are on the same mission. I think the people who are reading to doctors or psychology or whatever, we all are on a mission when we do it from the beginning. Most of it, of course, there's some part of it, not but most of us are on a mission to change something to better things. I believe we all the things we do is because we want to change something to a better place in the world.
yeah, and I want to say something about this changing the world to a better place and improving yourself and all of that. And people might ask themselves, why should I care about like who am I? Why should I take a break? Why should I step out of the world? I'm successful, everything's going well. Um, but the fact is that if you really get to know yourself and you know who you are, then what you bring to the world is exactly what you can bring, like is exactly fitting with your talent, with your energy, with your power. So whatever you do, you can be much more successful and at the same time make the world a better place when it comes from a place of, okay, I know this is exactly who I am, this is my energy, this is what I want to bring in this world. And so it brings an alignment that brings you in alignment with the world. So it makes you more happy, more successful. And that for me is reason enough. It's not just a philosophical question, who am I? And now I'm asking myself again, but it's really something to bring me to a place of, here from the heart, everything I do from a deeper conviction, and I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, this is right, this is wrong, and I don't need to fall into doubt, which is also something that we live in our society. People are very doubtful. They don't know, oh, should I do this, should I do that, is this right, this is right, and then they look to the government, to celebrities, and try to see from them what is right, and then they see, I don't know, he said David Beckham, Madonna, or they see, I don't know, Conor McGregor, or other stars, from music, from sports, from TV, and they just go around and they make party and they take drugs and they think, oh yeah, that's nice, I need to earn money and drive big cars and then go like this in the clubs and get drunk. But that is not nourishing the soul. That is not really fulfilling you. That is not showing you who you are. It's just putting layers on top, and covers it up. And so you basically getting like an empty shell, and you're living somebody else's life. And I know this poster. It used to be in my my old gym in Germany, with Steve Jobs, and he said, um, don't live somebody else's life. Step into your own power. And that's what he did, and that's why he was so genius, and making Apple such an amazing big company with all the amazing revolutionary ideas. And you could see it. And after he died, Apple continued to thrive on what he built, but there was no more like big evolution or revolution after him. And that's because he was bold to step into his own power and his own energy. And he didn't care. He didn't look at Bill Gates and said, oh, I have to build another Microsoft. No way. He said, okay, I'm going to do it my way. That's going to be it. And with all the quirks and all the weird things, this is how we build a company. And that's it. And he had lots of weird ideas, that many people, if you tell it other businessmen, they would say like, oh my God, what is this? But this is how he built that and how he brought to the world his gift. And that's, I think, a beautiful example of how we can step into our own energy and be brave and bring to the world what needs to be brought through us.
Exactly. But that's the same I do with my sensuvitality. It's my word. I like, and people are like, oh, but that word not exist. No, but there's so many words will never have exist. So that is my word, because it's coming from my heart and coming from. It's about vitality. Yeah, my sensual work. So yes, exactly. So which secret do you have from your heart? Spicy secrets.
I don't really know that much. Just taking it easy. It's hard to do.
You're stepping out of it.
Stepping out and taking it easy and taking everything easily and gently. That's quite hard to do, actually, because the head always wants to engage with everything, analyze everything, and decide everything and judge everything. And so there's a lot of programming here, which has been going for many, many, many years. So just stepping out of it, it's quite hard to do, actually.
Stepping out of your Enneagram number 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for instance, yeah, exactly. Because it has so much momentum. The Enneagram has so much momentum. Where I have been down that road for so many times, so it's so ingrained in how the energy wants to move. So just being able to step out of that.
Try to step out of the world and go in your heart and find out, is it I really number 8 in Enneagram? Do I need to be that? How can I?
And I really like what you said before about the Kundalini energy, that it wanted to move, but is it correctly understood also that it hasn't really moved like that before? There was something new in it.
It have always moved like when I get massage.
Okay.
But it was a new feelings like.
Yeah.
Like, is it loss or pleasure now? Or because normally it's because I feel, oh, this is so amazing. And I also just want to say, people should never open the Kundalini before they really have really learned about it. I just want.
I think that's also about control. We talked about control before. Don't try to control everything.
And also, like Kundalini, it's something you have to study about a lot before you just go in that road. It's not something you're just jumping because you want to feel this things in your body. I just want to. It's something because some people just want to go into it straight away without studying it, and so. But that time, I was like, okay, what is this happening? It's not like the lost. It's not like pleasure. I was like, what is he calling on? And that was really, and then I am 8 in Enneagram like you, I'm a nerd. So I going in, of course, after and find out, okay, are the Kundalini or our spine connected to our teeth? Because that is the amazing with AI. It's a good tool for me to nerding. So I could find out it, and it actually are connected to each other. So
Mm.
And that's why I was seeing, okay, that's one of the reasons not to just open the Kundalini, because it can take you to, you will cry forever maybe, and you never can stop crying. But it was really powerful because it was the same time it was really grief, and it was same time was happiness coming out of me. It was really powerful. It was really like, wow.
That process is not a process which happens in the mind. That is not a process which has anything to do with the Enneagram type or astrology sign or whatever. That is something else. That is a being. The awareness of this process happening is coming from somewhere else. Yeah, and so that's also a very good example of stepping out of the mind and going somewhere else and experiencing life from a different perspective.
Yeah, I just was letting it happen because it was happening many times before. It was going a half hour before I could let go. I was listening all the time. What happened? What happened? What happened? And my body was going in. And I just really, there was so much tears you should cry, like, oh. And finally could, because I think a lot of time I'm holding so much to me.
Yeah.
So
So there really is a theme here about, as you said before, Franz, the snake shedding its skin, the outer layers, and coming into something deeper. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was coming so deeper into me. So after I could actually say yes to me and my work, and really like, I know I have a big mission, and I am successful, and I need to come out to the world and and show myself now, and people have to discover who are really.
Because I think if you really anchored in your essence, then as you said before, Franz, also that the role you play in the world as an Enneagram 7 or as an Enneagram 8 or whatever it might be, you can play that role better. You can simply do it better because you're not really identified with it. So you can actually, if you step out and go on a holiday, and then when you come back from a holiday, you are recharged, you have let go of all the outer layers that you didn't need anymore, and then you come back and engage with the play again, and then you can have a little bit of fun with the play. Okay, maybe I can be a little bit of an asshole because I'm an 8, but I'm coming from a loving intention. So I'm not trying to push anything. I'm just experimenting and playing and engaging with life in a more creative way, in a way. Yeah. More freedom in the expression. Yeah, and that's also what I see, that sometimes when I'm really in all the heavy energy fields, we talked about shame and guilt and fear and maybe even desire and anger and so on. There's a part of me that don't really understand why there's so much negativity in the world. It doesn't really make any sense why we're all so unhappy all the time.
Exactly. That's one of my topic. I really have discovered so much. It's because down, deep, like in the other talk show we do have about sexuality, it's the sexuality who not matching very well.
Yeah, there is something about not being completely aligned with the body as well here. That it's like you're being screwed down into the body, but you need one more round before it was like click and then you're in the body. So there's something always kind of out of balance in the system.
And because
at the core.
For that, it's creating all this negative and unhappiness.
Like, yeah.
I see that I can see it everywhere. Like I think discovering Saturday, I see everyone almost are in prison of their own sensuality, because It's something we are born with.
Yeah.
And the breathing, like this too, it's compromised so much in our, like you say, like the body is like, but this is compromised so much, and it has to be hiding somewhere. And like,
yeah.
we must not, we must not, we must not breathe, and we must not do this, and we must not showing for ourselves. We love ourselves.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I so many times, and with all my clients, with all the things I'm studying, and with everyone I see, it's down to this sensuality, because we don't have a healthy relationship with it, because we don't have learned it from the beginning. And we just are in the blind. We never have stepped out of the world also that and take a break and thinking, is it really the way they're showing this? So, and the same when two people meeting, it's creating something. There is like a fire in this sensuality, and it's never gonna be talking about. And then the relationship or going 1 month, 2 months, and then it start being the dishwasher. It's gonna be the clothes, but actually stepping out or going out the world and stepping in and stop up, then it will find out, no, it's because in the bedroom it's not working very well.
And
so maybe we can even, okay, Franz,
sorry, I just wanted to add something that I feel that, sensuality, and that's very important for me to say, is not just about sex, but it's about being open, being vulnerable, and letting yourself touch. It can also be like listening to a beautiful song and starting to cry. That's also sensuality. And I think what you said is very right, Eabeauti, that if two people come together and all of that sensuality is below layers, and there could be sex, and they could do intimate things and spend time together, but if it's not a real opening of I'm opening up, I'm showing myself vulnerable, I'm risking it all, I'm dropping the masks, I'm shedding the skin, and that allows for a real relationship that is not just 1 month, 2 months, and then goes for long, for I don't know, maybe even a whole life. And it needs that sensuality in terms of really opening up and showing yourself fully naked. And it's like a soul stripping. I like to call it soul stripping.
Yeah.
But also because this word sex is coming from, the word sex was really coming from because the porno starts. So then it's this word escalate. Like even in this movie they make with Rocco, he say there is porno sex and there is love making, where you showing your soul, like you. But I really see all who are in the private things about sex, and that it's not working, because as you say, they're not showing themselves, and they're doing things they don't like. They just do it because, oh, we have to do it, and then they're creating all the other problems into the relationship.
Yeah, and if there's also this paradox here, with the more I try to solve my problems, the more I try to become a better person, the more I try to self-improve, the more problems I create for myself to overcome in the future as well. So I think really here, we're really touching upon something here, because the missing piece is to take it easy. It's not to push yourself harder. It's not to try to control everything. It is to step out and see the absurdity of wanting to become a better person when you're already a whole person, right?
Yeah, because it's also creating all the shame and guilt there.
That's exactly what you're doing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing if you can't step out of it.
Yes, all the time. You oh, come on, I want more. No, I don't want more. Oh, I want tonight. No, I don't want tonight. And it keep.
Yeah.
It makes you small. Like
Yes.
what you're saying now, both of you, Andre and Eabeauti, that just makes you small. It keeps you in a box, you know, like, and there's this little box that you have to improve, but you cannot break out, but you're limited.
Yeah.
But to realize what you said, Andre, that we are whole the way that we are, and it's not even a person. We are not even a person, and that's what I said in my little Instagram video this morning.
Okay. Okay.
That I had this experience a couple of times where I woke up and I didn't know who I am until my mind kicked in and started to basically ask the question and to answer it. Ah, yeah, you're France, you're in this body, na 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 na, and that and really to see that when we go to sleep, you know, there is no sense of like, I'm France, I have this story, that's my body, and here's life, and then one day I die and everything's over, and oh my God, you know, and that all of the fear comes up. But in fact, when we sleep, for example, especially when we deep sleep, there is only consciousness,
Yeah.
but we are
Yeah.
still there. It's not that we are
Yes.
dead or we disappear. We're
Yeah.
still there, and to
Yeah.
realize
That's
that,
right.
and then to see,
Yeah.
okay, there is something else than the mind.
Yeah.
There's something else than the body.
Yes.
Just there, and that's, you can call it consciousness, energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe even essence. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly. Those are
yeah,
all synonyms. Those
yeah.
three words are synonyms. You can use them interchangeably. But that's exactly right, Franz, because we have we have two different sleep periods in our sleep, and the first one is the deep sleep, and the deep sleep is just this almost infinite space of luminescence where nothing arises. So it's just this emptiness or nothingness. And then when we transition into dream sleep, the dream state, there's a separate dream eye that separates out and starts to experience the dreams, the experiences the dreams. And then once we experience all the dreams, and then dreams have they have a narrative, they have a plot, so they are already a bit of mind in them. And then we wake up in our physical eye and start our day, and so we repeat that cycle over a 24-hour period here. Yeah, and that's right, and that tells us that yes, we are unconscious in our deep sleep, but we are still there even if we are unconscious.
Oh, now we cannot hear you.
Yeah, and that's because I'm not saying anything.
It was just because it's ringing all this, and then
Oh, okay.
just be sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, really beautiful. This topic is a really good topic. Many people don't thinking about life. So are you ready, who listen, to step out of the world and take a
Yeah.
break, open your heart,
Yeah.
and just find you, who you are? Who are you?
That's a very good question.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So should we stop with that, or have more to bring to the table today?
I think there is a tiredness in the world, tired of always being engaged with the same patterns. And I think there's also a longingness to find the back door that you can go out and just take a break. Yeah, I really sense that.
Yeah, you sense that,
And I'm also sensing that, especially in the last 5 years, it seems like everything has become more suppressed and more dense, and because like when I was at the time I was born in '89. There was sort of the opposite, where everything was becoming more expansive, and new possibilities could arise. But it really feels like that in the last 5 years or so, maybe 6 years, that we have gone in sort of a contraction phase. Yeah,
But then
I think most people feel that in their intuitively.
Yeah, I see and hear that from almost many people.
And so
But
if this happens in the collective, the ability to step out of it in the individual becomes so much greater. The need for it becomes so much greater as a sort of counterbalancing mechanism to this contraction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to echo that. And I feel that people are realizing that the old ways of living don't work anymore.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
just that it just doesn't work anymore. I mean,
yeah.
for example, I spoke with my brother, and I love him so much. He's 1 year older than me, and
Mm.
he also has a family, has a business that he's running. So a lot of stress and a lot of energy there, but he has
Mm.
constant stress and problems with his health, like his lower back,
Mm.
and then
Yeah.
and he gets like this hearing impairment, and then he gets migraine,
Mm.
and all of
Yeah.
those, all of those are just signs that
Mm.
we are driving ourselves on a speed, on an energy constantly being out there
Mm.
that is not healthy. And um,
Mm.
and the question is also, which nobody asks, but for what reason are we doing this? Why are we constantly
Yeah. Yeah.
bombarding ourselves with
Yeah.
information through phones, through
Yeah.
TV, internet, and then we do work. It's constant
Mm.
activity, and this whole constant activity, it's bringing up us up in our mind space. And why the mind is good to do
Mm.
some work that has to be done during the day,
Mm.
it's not needed for all of it. We can also
Yeah,
go into
exactly.
our
Yeah.
body, and our body can take care of it. We can go into our heart, and our heart
Mm.
can take care of it. There's different places of wisdom that
Yeah,
in us
exactly.
that
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
can that we can access.
Yeah.
But the whole way the system is kind of
Mm.
tailored right now is bringing us constantly, forcing us into our heads, and and so we get
Mm.
restless, and we get so many thoughts, and oh, I
Mm.
have to do this, I want to do this, and then oh, there's this problem, and then there's emotion, and oh no, I don't want to feel that emotion, I push it down, and
Mm.
so we're constantly busy, and that creates unhealthy
Mm.
relationship with ourselves, that we then
Mm.
project onto others, and then
Mm.
suddenly
Yeah.
we have this negativity that you spoke about,
Yeah.
Andre,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is present,
Yeah.
and I know
Yeah.
I know it very well, that where people are
Yeah.
depressed, where people are like they have suppressed emotions, that's why they're depressed,
Mm.
and and,
Mm.
and all of these emotions, they're there, but they're not
Mm.
really able to sit with
Yeah.
them, feel them, and heal all of them. It's
Yeah.
it's not rocket science anymore. We know that
Yeah.
there is emotional sickness. We know that in the body, in the
Mm.
fascia, emotions get stored. That means if we have a
Mm.
lot of grief, anger,
Mm. Mm.
sadness,
Mm. Mm.
fear, shame, guilt, it gets stored in the body. And if we don't take care of
Mm.
it, it will create sickness, and we will get
Mm.
cancer, hearing impairment, back hurt,
Mm.
migraine, depression, all of that
Mm.
quite naturally. And
Yeah.
it's really not rocket science, but people are turning a
Yeah.
blind eye to it, um,
Yeah.
because it's uncomfortable to go to this place,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
admit, okay, well, in order to find out that I am actually whole, first I need to admit that what I've been doing so far hasn't worked, and I was on the wrong track, and I need to admit that I need to change something, and that's all uncomfortable. And but I feel that what you said also, André, with the last 5 years, I feel now the system is creating also pressure that people cannot hold anymore. So people want to break out, and from suffering, and there needs to be a bit of suffering. Otherwise, people will not change anything. Why would you change something that works? And
that's also another paradox.
Yeah, exactly.
That it doesn't make any sense that there's any suffering, but maybe we need a little bit of suffering to change things. That's also a paradox.
It's like we want to be in the victim role all the time. It's like the world want to be in that, and they don't need, because we could just go. But when you say, I always say to people, live in 2025, there's so much knowledge about all you're talking about, Frank. But people still like living in the 1900s. It's like, oh, I have to have migraine. You have to stop up and step out of the world and look, okay, why do I have migraine? And also in the back, lower back, where the disc and all that is the sexual energy. It's 90% of the world have problem there. Because they never working in that area. They're working on the arms and working on the legs and making what male body, how you say that in English?
Stomach crunches.
They don't do any exercise for all the root chakra area. And the root chakra is carrying everything. It's like, as you say, your brother, he must step out of the world, France, and take a break. Also, because I say that to be, why are you creating children if you're just running and running and running and running? Why you don't have them?
And in spirituality, what we call that a peak experience. It is simply an experience of stepping out of the world and taking a breath for yourself and relaxing. But it doesn't really make any sense that we call it a peak experience. It doesn't really make any sense why it's not always like that. Why the peak experience is just not a normal way of being. Exactly. And that's exactly what you said, Franz, so eloquently, that it is this giant ego that is running around in circles and trying to control everything with the old patterns. Yeah, and so we think, okay, what do I need to do? Do I need to fight, or do I need to fight the system, or do I need to become a guru and advise people No, you just need to step out of the world. It's both the hardest thing you can do and also in some ways also the easiest thing you can do.
And one of the things people could start with was just 10 minutes every day, stepping out of the world and doing breathing. Doing breathing. Breathing is it's something who should have been learned, like you're taking a shower or you go to toilet. Like people say, how can you always feel fresh and never sick? And because I every day stepping out and doing my breathing.
But that's what
do it longer.
And that's what you're talking about, Eabeauti, and that's also what I hear Eckhart Tolle talking about, is that if you become conscious of your breath, you can't both be conscious of your breath and then also be in the mind.
No.
So that is the first door out of the world, the back door where we slip out. It's very simple. It's just to become conscious of what we are always doing as long as we have a body, and that is breathing.
Yes, and
so we become conscious. We don't take the control thing down into the body and try to manipulate the breath or do all kinds of weird exercises. And now it becomes a competition of I can breathe better than you. Now we're controlling the breath. Now we haven't stepped out of the world, but we're just taking the back door down into the breath and then just being with it. And then we're not in the mind. And then we can always come up and think some more and run around in our patterns again. That no problem. We can always do that. But then you have just had a second of freedom.
Yeah, but
And then you can always go from there and expand it. But now you had the first taste of what it feels like to step out of the world. And then I don't think nothing will ever be the same again in a way.
Exactly. And the more you go do it, the more you do it. And also, I have learned from this amazing book with breath from James Neston, like the more you can breathe to your nose and slowly and get your breath very slow, it's even more affect your soul. I see that with myself. Like I'm not getting too much stress anymore.
Mm.
And if
Yeah.
you're just stopping and take a break and say, okay, and I have learned instead of we saying breathing out like so let go, we should actually breathe in like and 10 to 10. And you're doing that with nervous system because there's so many secrets in this book who are depressing down. And I'll try to do all of that.
That's it's amazing. I also read that book. Really, really can recommend it. James Nestor, Breath.
Yes.
And one thing that I mean, I adapted a couple of things. For example, I'm taping my mouth at night, so I'm only nose
I
breathing.
also my way to do
And
that.
and since then, my energy level has improved. I've never gotten like a sore throat or anything anymore. That's one thing. But I mean, I understand not everybody wants to tape their mouth at night, and that's fine. But something very simple that you can do is, which I adopted, is whenever I go up or down stairs, I focus on only breathing through my nose. And that already is like a small little exercise that you can do every day, and that can can become a habit. So for me now, it's natural to breathe through my nose, especially when I walk the stairs.
It's very important to put that on your tape, or you can also get something where you put it in the mouth. I prefer when you put it, and then also when you fly, because I learned that from a guy called, or what is his name in Denmark? He's he's very famous. He can be under the water for, I forgot his name. Steve Svensson, I think his name is. So, and he learned me it's very important when you fly to only breathe through the nose. And it makes sense when I was reading this book. You have to read it, André. It's so good.
And for flying, it also makes sense because you have certain chemicals in the kerosene and in the whole air condition that the airplane works with, and your nose basically filters that very well. Like the dry air, it gets moisturized through the nose. The chemicals get filtered out of it, so it's much healthier to breathe through your nose through when you're in the airplane. So I just want to add to that. And you're right, absolutely right.
But some people have difficult, just to say, I have a friend, he can almost not breathe through nose because when he was little, they putting his cranium, because he have his teeth like, so they have put his cranium wrong. But now we try to push it right, and I try, and you can do that also with cupid. So,
and that is also speaking about breath. You're very right for that, Eabeauti. Just to speak from my personal experience, I was born with two narrow nose like lines. I don't know how to call it exactly, but when I was breathing in strongly, my nose would close. So I couldn't breathe through my nose when I was doing sports or when I was sleeping. So I had a surgery to help open my nostrils a little bit more. And it is absolutely fine to do something like that. I mean, of course, you can be like Bob Marley and say, my body's my temple. That is your choice, and everybody has to make the choice for themselves. But doing something like that helps you to live a healthier life. And
yeah, yeah,
I think that there's absolutely nothing wrong
yeah.
with doing that.
That's a completely rational decision. That's a completely rational decision. Yeah. Also, people who have been in car accidents or burn victims, if they get facial reconstruction, that's also a completely, it helps them live a better life. So that's a completely rational decision to make. Yeah, definitely.
And it's very different from what I see, especially here in Dubai,
Yes.
where you see a lot of people, mainly girls, who have done their lips, who have done other parts of their body, and are looking like they are constructed in some way. And but this is, like doing something like this is undermining your true sense of self and of self-worth.
Exactly.
Like, I'm good enough, because you feel like I'm not good enough. That's why I have to change all of these things in order to be loved, to be liked, in order to find a rich husband or whatever it is, but it's undermining the sense of self. So they might be
that's exactly what it is.
They might be looking fine on the outside, but
that's exactly true, Franz. That's what separates the two things we talked about, medical procedures and cosmetic procedures, because intention shapes context. And so if it's a rational intention about, I want to live a better life because I want to breathe better, whatever it is, then that is one context. And that comes from a very rational place. But if it's a shame context, if it's about, I'm not good enough as I am, I want to enhance my appearance to in order to maybe think that then I would like myself more, then that's a completely different, even though it's both about surgeries and stuff like that, it's two different contexts that has nothing to do with each other because the intention is completely different behind it.
Sorry, I just want to say one more thing, Eabeauti, because also I know many people, and I'm guilty myself. For example, I had my hair done because I always wanted to have long hair, and I couldn't have long hair like this anymore. So I've done it, and that was. I realized that this was also based in some sort of narcissism or not feeling good enough the way, I could have just shaved my head, but it's done now, and I've done it at a certain time in my life, and I say, okay, well, it is what it is, and even if you have your lips done or your breasts done or other parts, and then you realize, okay, well, it is what it is. I've done this or I've done that, but now I'm turning to myself. You can stop that, and this is what my teacher says, you can stop at any point of time, and you can correct your course, and you say, now self-love, everything towards self-love, and stepping out of that feeling of lack, of not being good enough,
exactly,
and stepping into that self-love and see, okay, what is it that really nourishes my soul, and then you just change your course, so there's nothing wrong.
Exactly.
And because you can easily fall into like, then you start to punish yourself and you judge yourself for things you've done, and we all make mistakes. That's part of life.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's also another paradox, because we did these things and we all did something like that in our own version, and we did it because we had a feeling of not being good enough. But meanwhile, we had that feeling underneath that feeling, there was always that we were always completely loved as we were. So that's another paradox. And then when we can course correct, we need to practice unconditional forgiveness, because now we understand that this was a temporary feeling of not being good enough, and it wasn't really real. It made us do things, but it wasn't really real. So we can just forgive it, and then we can correct back into our past. It's like sort of retrocausal correction, you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it bounces back into the future, and now there's nothing basically to forgive anymore.
But one is again, because the seeing in the porno, you have to look that way, or the seeing in the Hollywood movie, you have to look that way. And AI now, they're also creating all these perfect things. And I love myself, and I accept I have this problem with my teeth, but other have, but I say I'm still the same. I am still Eabeauti, no matter if my teeth way or another way. And you can also start living with shame of it, or you say, okay, that's the way I am.
Yeah, and if you can really do that, if you can really step out of it and really have this self-forgiveness, self-acceptance, and wholeness, and stepping out of the world. What was it I was going to say? It was about. Yeah, now I forgot what I was supposed to say. That's fine.
It was a beautiful start of your sentence.
Yeah, but I think it's just because it doesn't really matter when you're stepping out of it. So you just forget it.
No,
Because you're
but
not there. Yeah, now that's what I wanted to say. Then you don't create any more problems.
yeah.
Then there really are no more problems. Yeah.
And it's a little bit like in those series like Breaking Bad, you know, where the character comes and he does one thing and then he gets into trouble and then he continues to do it because he doesn't want to get caught or anything, and creates more and more and more and more and more and more and more trouble. But in fact,
exactly.
And this is so important. This is one of the most important lessons I received from my teacher. You can stop at any moment. It's very simple. You say stop, and that's it. And you step out of it. You see it. You see it. You see it causes suffering, and then you stop. And you know, okay, one time it's gonna hurt really bad now, one time, but after that it's done. And then there's no need to go back to it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's done.
Yeah. You stop, you step out of the world, and then there really are no more problems. Yeah. Exactly.
But when will people will ask themselves, how do I do that? Because I have this house, I have this car, I have this.
Now we are going in circles.
Yes, exactly. That's why
just relax, come down to the breath, take a breath, and then take it from there. Yeah.
Lay down, take a breath, sit down, just take a breath, and it makes so much improvement. I learn all my clients that I say to them, do this exercise for the next 40 days, and you will tell me you feel much better. You do it.
And this is also very good what you just said, Eabeauti, because we talked about breath, we talked about coming to peace, we talked about finding sources to connect to ourselves and to connect to our power and energy, whatever that might be. And then there's also changing our patterns. And you just said 40 days, and that is actually very, very important. Like there's this Atomic Habits book. Have you guys read it?
I heard about it. I haven't read it. Yeah.
So I can really recommend Atomic Habits. And basically what he says is that you just change very small thing, but you change it every day. For me, I always told myself, oh, I'm such a bad reader. I have such a hard time reading books. And then for many years in my life, I did not read any book at all, and oh no, I cannot sit down, I cannot read. And then I read this book, and what they said is, well, make it a habit that before you go to sleep at night, you read 5 minutes or two 3 pages. And then I started doing that, and for the last 4 years I've read like 10-15 books now, just this way. I mean, maybe some of the books I also read in some other way, but just like that, I read 10-50 books. So something small adds up. So if you even if people say, oh, I can't meditate, I can't do this, can't do that, well, make it a habit. Do it every single day. And when you miss out, then do it again the next day. So there's one rule: never miss twice. If you miss twice, then you step out of the habit. But if you just continue to do something every day, and one day you miss, okay, to it the next day, you make it a habit. And then it could, even if
Mm.
it's like just a couple of minutes every day, and every person in this world has a couple of minutes that they can do anything that they want per day. Yeah, no matter how
Yes.
much stress you have, how many kids, work, whatever you have a
Yeah,
couple of
because
minutes for yourself. And to take those minutes every day and do something that really makes you feel better, makes you feel stronger, more energetic, more connected with yourself. That is, I think this is real power, real magic.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
absolutely true, friends. Yeah, it is the consistency of it. If you
yes, yes.
find one good thing that works for you, whatever it is, and then if you just follow it and practice with discipline, it will take you sooner or later out of appearance and into essence, out of the back door. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. But it needs
that's
to be an integrous thing. It cannot be a destructive thing.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I hear it a lot from people, but I don't. I say, but you have time to go toilet. You have time to go and shower. You have time to
Mm.
go and make your coffee. So it's again a habit, and there is another book I have read. It takes 21 days to interrupt a new habit. It's
Mm.
I say to him, it's not because you don't have time, because then look of how much time you're using for scrolling down your phone. You could use that for. It's like you have time to go and shower. It's so we have the time if it really, and we have to learn to say, I do it for me.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
I take this time for me, not for anyone else. It's for you and your soul and your body. Like that's it's that's also a habit to change and say to yourself. That's also exercise, a small exercise you can every day stopping out and stepping out of the world and say to yourself, I do this for me. Right now I take 2 minutes
Yeah,
and feel me.
exactly.
Because that's, as you say, people say all the time, I don't have time. And then I going in and see the schedule and I ask them to tell me how they do things. And I say, oh, there you just was wasting your time. Or so before you coming home, like you could sit in your car just 3 minutes before you go in at the door, just sit there, just connect with your breath and just with your breath, like being and say, like, do it for me. You will be a completely other person when you go into. That's also out of the world and stepping out from one situation you've been in into the situation you're going to.
And it's really not egoistic if you do it for you, because if you do it for yourself, you become a blessing for others. Your energy pattern, your calmness, your positivity will radiate, and others will be blessed through that. So it's natural. It doesn't need, you don't need to engineer or tailor anything. It's natural. You take care of yourself, you do things for yourself, and then naturally you feel good and you feel happy, and feeling good, connected, and feeling happy makes you want to give back to the world. So it's natural.
Yeah.
So much. And that is a new side of the world. But as Rahu have told in 2027, it's gonna change people automatically because the planet and all that, it's just do it to people. So we will see completely other things in 2027. So, like, so yes, have we more to the spicy food today? Should we put more flowers or more tinkling or some balsamico or
Take it easy, man.
Take it easy. From my perspective, the dish is complete.
Yes.
Ready to be served.
Yes, so you eat the dinner and listen to our show, because we're coming back with some more amazing topic, because we have a very good point of view, all three together. We are three different persons from three different worlds, and we just have a good cocktail. It's like the most spicy Sex on the Beach cocktail, and this Michlien Star restaurant. So come back to us, and we will come back to you and serve even more dinner and taste it and feel it and waking you up and telling our own story, so you can see we also have some things we're struggling with. So thank you so much, and André Grande, and thank you so much, Franz Peters, and thank you so much, puresoulloves.com. And you can find us everywhere. We are everywhere if you want to work with us. We are an amazing team. We have so many, what you call, skills with us. I don't know the name. You normally have that on the first talk show we have. You have that on. What do you call?
Hats?
What do you call
this?
Hat.
Hat.
Oh, hat. Yeah, hat. Yeah.
Casquette. In Danish, it's a casquette.
Yeah, a cap. A cap.
Yeah.
Cap.
Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you for hosting.
Thank you, guys.
Eabeauti. Thank you, André.
Thank you. Bye.
Recording.